Hi all, welcome back to more Space Empires 4X, playing the one player Alien Empire scenario. This is part 15. So I didn't get to the table yesterday, but I'm back today. Probably wasn't keen on coming back after what's just happened. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be the end of the game, but we're going to get a bit bashed about a bit, aren't we? And whether we're going to be able to recover from that. And that just shows you that attack, which if you've just moved on from the last part, should be fresh in your memory. That lots and lots of little ships can sometimes do more damage than the big hefty ships with a big defence, and he did have to roll multiple ones and twos, and that's what he done. But then when you're rolling, what was it, 11 ships they had? In fact, I think they had 11. They've not got much less than 11 left. Look, they've got 8. So I must have only took out 3 of them, because I'm pretty sure they started with 11. So, yeah, it does just show you that the little ships can hurt if there's a multitude of them. Yeah, okay, and you get luck with the dice. Anyway, okay, well, I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I wasn't going to just end the playthrough there, even though it felt devastating what happened. But so we'll get to that in a minute. There's a few little things I wanted to talk about. I had a few comments, and I also feel like I made one mistake. Tim's brought a couple of things up I'd like to talk about. Right away from Tim, this was back in part 5. Now I say back in part 5, this is part 15 I'm recording. I've only just released part 5. I'm way ahead of the what you have seen, obviously. So there could be a lot more things that crop up. And this mistake that I feel is a mistake that I'm going to sort of point out, I think I might have maybe done that again as well, because I didn't read it properly, the rule, and I've not quite grasped it, and I think I might have done it again. So, and there's not enough of what I can do about it. I want to say maybe things might have ended up being the same, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, this last battle looks like it might not matter to us anyway. So yeah, he comments in part 5. No timestamp here, but he's talking about in general about how they're meant to work. How they're meant to know what ships they've seen in combat, and what they're meant to know and what they're not meant to know. And he says, it seems like you're supposed to keep your ship markers hidden, just like in the multiplayer game, in order to keep track of which ships are revealed. Or I guess you could put cubes on them to keep track if you didn't want them hidden. Okay, and I think this is just down to the fact I've never played the multiplayer game before, but that's clearly what you are meant to do, or take note somehow, because you don't need to keep them hidden, because this isn't, this blue player isn't a human opponent. He's not going to see that. You've got to register though with him what ships I've seen and whatever, and yeah, I guess it's sort of, I mean, the cubes on top would be better, because I don't want to keep flipping counters back to front to find out what they are, because I'm going to forget what they are. So yeah, the counters would be the better idea. You kind of want, they're small counters these though, so you kind of want some see-through counters. I suppose the ones that I've got, the sort of green one, the ones out of Terraform Mars, not the little gold ones. The other ones are sort of see-through, aren't they? So that might be an idea. But I think the game's where it is now, that we'll just plod on and see how it goes. But I get what he's saying there. Technologies as well. I suppose you should take note. I mean, every time they enter combat with us, they get to look at our technologies. But I might have upgraded a technology and then thought, when did I upgrade that? When was the last time we had combat with them? Blah, blah, blah. So I think you probably need to track that as well, because it could become important. I think if I picked up one of the technologies that that decides if they do certain things or not, I would certainly take note and probably know that, right, I've just researched that technology just now, so next time they go into combat, they're going to see that and then register it. But I suppose these are quite a few things you've got to, yeah, keep track of. Okay. Oh, hang on. Right, sorry, I got interrupted there. Not sure where I was at. I think we just finished talking about that first comment from Tim about the keeping your units hidden and whatever, wasn't it? So, that was part 5. Let me just see. Yeah, old time viewer John Brown. I don't mean old time as in old timer John. I don't know how long you've been on the planet, but I haven't seen him for a while. He's made a few comments. He says, I loved Stellar Conquest back in the day. I don't know what that was, but so he's just getting into this game now. I think it's something that he should be interested in. He says it should be his kind of cup of tea. Yeah, so I hope I can keep it going for that. I did leave a comment saying I shouldn't have really done that, sort of saying spoilers that this had happened on part 14, but I'm commenting here on part. In fact, this is back in the Doomsday playthrough, so he's not even got started watching the Alien Empire. So if this is part 15 of it, it's going to take him a little while to get through them. And John was always busy with family and things like that anyway, so it was a bit slower at keeping up with things. Whatever. But anyway, good to have you back watching, John. Now this is where Tim had put his comment. That's why I was looking here. He mistakenly put it in my Doomsday Part 5 video rather than the Alien Empire Part 5 video. So this is talking about the same thing again. So he says, according to the rules, the AP only cares about the value of the colonies when they are defended. For undefended colonies, it only cares about distance. Right, now, I think this is back in part 5, so it was earlier on, so I maybe hadn't harped on about this as much, but I'm pretty sure I go to town with quite a bit after that, and I've said that in my reply to Tim, and he's talking about this, and it might become a bit boring because I feel like I have went over this quite a bit. So it's these two bullets at the end here, and this is about AP fleet movement. Just the two at the end. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the one relevant is there when it talks about... Yeah, actually, you know what? All these four bullets are relevant to what we're talking about, but it's the two different ones at the bottom that are what the issue is here. So we'll go through them here. An AP fleet will always move towards the colony it can reach in the fewest number of economic phases. Okay, understood. If more than one colony qualifies, an AP fleet will move towards the colony that is undefended. In this case, single shipyards and single, and that ignore that word revealed, and single scouts are not considered a defence, right? So then you've got the two different cases, and this is what Tim's saying, that because what I started doing was following the tiebreakers for this, but he's saying for undefended colonies, it only has the one tiebreaker. It only wants to reach, once it can reach it in the same number of economic phases, then it'll move towards a colony that it can reach in the fewest number of moves, full stop. So what he's saying is that's all you should do there. And I kind of thought, well, you need more. So, I mean, I think what his reply to that was that maybe he feels like it's maybe meant to be that way, and you just randomise after that. It doesn't sort of say. I mean, at the end of this one, it says the player chooses. You know, I mean, there's nothing at the end of this at all. And I feel the need to go and ask on BGG this. Whether it might have been asked before or not, I don't know, but I think it's going to be difficult to find that question if it is out there. So I think I'll create my own question on that, just to see, what you're meant to do when there's more than one here. When you've checked for economic phases, check the number of moves. What do you do next? Do you randomise? Do I choose? Now, what I was doing was, if still tied, it'll move towards the colony that's the largest. If still tied, it'll move towards the colony that brings it closer to the player's home world. If still tied, the player chooses. And it felt okay, that. But, so I'm trying to read that now again with the context of what Tim is saying. And where's his... where's her? Ah, there's more replies, right, okay. Sorry if I'm a bit distant, I'm turning around here looking at things. Alright, and I've got a bit of unresponsive internet. Right, here we go. Yeah, he confirms he put it in the wrong place. He says, I get what I'm saying, because I'm explaining that I only used that because I felt like we needed more tiebreakers. But I mean, I'm doing something that's not, you know, it's not saying for me to do that. So he says, I get what you're saying, but it seemed to make a deliberate distinction there. So I'm thinking, if anything, it would be more appropriate to just randomise if you don't want to choose yourself. Well, I mean, it doesn't say I have to choose myself there. It says I have to choose there, but you're saying that we shouldn't be looking at this. So it doesn't tell me to randomise, doesn't tell me to choose, doesn't say nothing. Now, is there a bit in the book where it says, it might say somewhere that if you're stuck between two options, you randomise it, I don't know. But this one specifically says that I choose. And this one says nothing. So, I don't know. I think this is worth putting out as a question. So, I think I'm going to do that. Right, we've got the sun behind us all of a sudden. It was nice and dull. I shouldn't really say that, should I? We should enjoy the sun. It was nice and dull a minute ago, and now it's flooded. So, you've got the big shadow of Grantos in the way as well. I'll maybe close the blind in a minute, but I'm only blithering about stuff anyway. So I said, yeah, fair enough, we'll have a look and no doubt have a blather about this later on, as I'm doing just now. I think that's maybe it, actually, was the comments, but I had a couple to make myself. So, yeah, I've just released part... hang on a sec. Right, sorry, I got more distractions there. So I just released part... Yeah, that's right. So I've just released part 6 and 7, but while I was watching back part 6, I seen which looks to be this error that I'm talking about. I put them in the header and pinned them in the comments thing. And if you see that there's 2 comments on the same thing, I don't know. I was putting things in the header of the comments before, and people have said that nobody looks there, so I've pinned it into the comments as well, and so it's maybe in 2 different places. Anyway, I've got, well, the second comment I made at the 1 hour and 14 minute 30 second mark, talking about it was all nonsense. This is all nonsense, as I didn't even use the formula here and guessed it wrongly for myself. I talk about this in a later part. Yeah, I do talk about it in a later part. I can't remember when it comes up. But it was when... Yeah, well, we're going to talk about... You're just going to talk about it again then, aren't you? Well, no. I'll not talk about it again, but I'll bring it up later. What's the point in talking about that there then? Right, okay. Just forget about that one. The 54 minute and 45 second mark. I said, looking back on this, I'm pretty sure this ends up being wrong. Now, what was it that was wrong? Well, it was the Blue Fleet, not this big massive fleet that they'd launched, but it was maybe the first fleet that they'd launched. Were coming along here, and we put a couple of scouts in here, but we had this defended. Or what it was, he ended up there. That's right, he ended up there, and we had this then, but we had a couple of scouts here, so we had 2 ships here, and then this was defended. And there was 2 turns left to go. This was in turn 2, and he was about to make his movement. And I decided that he moved in there, because there was 2 ships here. Now, if it had been 1 ship here, because this is defended and this was not undefended, And if there'd only been one ship there, it would have went in there and then went in there. But because there was two ships there, I thought he wouldn't do that. However, that's not what it says in the rules. I did want to double check this, and no, I think I looked it up in the newer rules as well. I'm pretty sure I did. Well, I've got them open here anyway, so I can have a look. Yeah, so it is just the same. And interestingly, it's under the same AP fleet movement. And it is in the same. It's worded the same in the new rule, the new rules version as well. And it's the second bullet in there. So what it says is, if an AP fleet can attack a single revealed ship without delaying it reaching its destination. Single revealed ship, of course. See, and this brings even more complexness. Makes it more complex in the fact that, like what Tim just brought up, you're meant to keep the ships face down if they've not met them in combat. So, in all honesty, that does matter quite a bit, doesn't it? Because I can't recall. I want to say that I don't know if he's seen the scouts or not. That brings that brings a lot more into the game, actually. Just that word there, that revealed ship. So if an AP fleet can attack a single revealed ship without delaying it reaching its destination, it will. I mean, to be honest, it's the next sentence that was the issue here, but reading that like that brings about the fact that although we can see we've got one single revealed, well, I say revealed ship, we've got one single ship in a hex. I mean, I've spoke about this before. The AI doesn't know, unless he's had combat with that ship, he doesn't know if it's single or not. Because in the multiplayer game, your ships go about like this, face down, and then there's a number underneath them. And even when there's only one of them here, you still put the number underneath. Because your opponent doesn't know what that number is. Doesn't know how many ships there are, doesn't know the type of ships there are. So, it's quite possible that I've been playing this throughout wrongly with regards to that, and could probably have messed about with the AI a bit more, because this situation, there was the two scouts here. Well, they were both scouts. To be honest, they should have been stacked together, and there should have been a counter underneath them saying that there were two. But if the AI has not seen them in combat, he wouldn't know if it's one or two ships. So, however, I think moving on to the issue I had before I've just read that, the next part was a bit that was bothering me. So I had two scouts in there, but I'm now wondering if the AI should have actually known if there was two scouts or not. It's quite possible that they maybe shouldn't have known that. So the second sentence says, it will avoid combat with non-single ships, go around them, okay? As long as doing so would not delay them from reaching its destination. So the situation was, this is defended, there was two scouts there, the alien fleet's there, it's got two movement left, 2 turns left to move. Now, it could go in there for one, but it could also reach here, and because this is defended, it wants to go here first. Now, it would go around these two ships, again, and maybe didn't even know there was two ships there. Or, see, the thing is, if it doesn't know if it's one ship or not, it treats it as more than one ship, I would imagine. Yeah, if it's unrevealed, it doesn't know how many ships are there. So, but in this case, because this was still his target, he would have went in there. That's the way I'm reading that, anyway. That's the way I'm reading that. Although this has opened up a huge big new can of worms, really. Yeah, I've been playing this not properly, really, throughout. Because the alien faction comes at me with a fleet that we don't know what's in it until it gets there. We can we know the numbers, we can sort of make some guesses. But we should be going about hidden fleets as well. Okay, well, I'm going to try and do that from now on. And I mean, to be honest, we might get bashed about here, and I don't think it should necessarily bring the game to an end, this, but well, you know what he's done? He's wiped out everything there anyway, so they are all revealed, unrevealed, well, they were all revealed, and he would have revealed the technology. But see, for instance, these guys here, that sweeper should be face down. That's not being in combat. The red player and the blue player don't know what that is. And Cruiser 3, I suppose you need to look, when did I build Cruiser 3 maybe? Was it the same time as the sweeper? I think it was, because I built a battle cruiser at the same time as the sweeper. My guess is it probably built, but it was probably that one that I built. Well, hang on. Is it the most up to date? Has it got 2 attack? It does. So that's the most up to date one that we've had. It's got the 2 move, the 2 attack, it's got the tactics. So these should be face down. The red player, well, and the blue player, they don't know what's in that. It should just be 1 counter. Now is that right? Would it? The fact that it's 2 different ships though. So hang on, if it's 2 different ships, do they not need to be separate then? Surely they must. But both these are going to have face down and a counter underneath them. Well, in this case, it's just be a 1 counter underneath them. I think I suppose that's a downside to me not having played the multiplayer game. If I'd played the multiplayer game, then I probably would have grasped this easier and been playing it properly from the beginning. But I don't want to have to turn these upside down, because I'm never going to remember what they are. So the thing is, if I do this again, I think Tim's idea of putting cubes or something on top of them and mark them to say that these haven't been revealed yet. So there's a bit more in this. It makes me wonder about. I don't want to start again as such, but I think this is quite huge, really. Well, I'll see. I'm going to plod on just now. Just, I suppose, trying to remember. Well, I think they're not the only 2 ships that we've got in play right now. Yeah, it is. So they're both unrevealed. But he would know that there was at least 2 ships. Well, yeah, if they're unrevealed, he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue how many there is, Grant. Yeah. So he would see 2 counters. I think this is how you'd have it in the multiplayer. Let's just say we had a battleship as well. Then I'm not going to turn the other 2 down, but what you would have is all these 3 separately turned upside down with a number counter underneath them, wouldn't you? And this number counter would be hidden from the opponent as well. I think that's how it works, isn't it? Again, like I say, because I've just mainly played the Doomsday scenario, and you don't need to care about any of that. But you can see it's important in this as well. Okay. But going back to it kind of that kind of makes me wonder if that was then a mistake. I'm not sure now, because I don't know what was revealed, what was unrevealed, how many ships were where. If it's unrevealed, you cannot say it's just 1 ship, because you don't know what's there at all. It has to be a revealed single ship. If an AP fleet can attack a single revealed ship without delaying it, reach its destination at will. Because you can't have a single unrevealed ship, because you don't know what's in how many's in it. It might not be single. Alright, I hadn't thought about that as well. Okay. Well, let's just plod on and see where we're at. Right, I think I had 12 minutes. I think that's 24 minutes I've got in now. So, let's see if I can push on. I'm getting some interruptions at the moment, but Yeah, I'm going to have to take another short break here just now. Well, I suppose just before we start, well, where are we? When I say start, where are we? We're on turn 3. So I'm assuming I've just moved into turn 3. Everybody's straightened up. So these are going to move in and, well, probably take out... now, will they move separately now? No, surely they stick together. In fact, hold on. These should be... Well, the reason they're in 2 stacks is because there's 6 of them already. There's a whole group of them in there. There's 2 of them in there. But they're all the same type of ships, aren't they? Right, that's me back again. I've had quite a lot of interruptions today, so I think we're about 25 minutes there. Yeah, I just can't seem to get things going, however. So I don't know if I said I posted the question out there about the AP fleet movement. What was that? The one that Tim had brought up, that because I was sort of doing these tiebreakers on here when it was the colonies were undefended as well as defended, sort of thing. Yeah, and I did think it was worthwhile asking the question. So, and I think I did say also that I'm pretty sure the question had probably been out there, but I didn't know how to go and search it down. But I should have had a go, really. So, here was my question, and then Nico replied with a link to the... I'll link... I'll just link my previous post on this topic instead of rewriting it. So, apologies for that, Nico. I should have had a look and try to find it. Which was my response to him. You can see the title of the thread. It was a bit wordy, but AP Fleet Movement. If I had typed that in a search, I might have found that. Whether I would have worked out destination rule formatting in the core game scenario book, I'm not so sure. But anyway, so Carl's posted this. This was, it was only back last year. In fact, just the end of last year. So, reading page 12 of the Living Space Empire Scenario 1.2 booklet, AP Fleet Movement section, I read bullet 1, see screenshot. Yeah, and he's highlighting the 2 bullets, 1 and 2. So, he's talking about 1, and so 1, and then he says, immediately I ask myself, but what if there is more than 1, the same number of moves away? So, I read on to 2, which is the one that covers undefended. This bullet point is formatted as if it addresses only defending colonies, including the latter part of it about ties, which I decided to build in as well. He says, however, I think the latter part of the large bullet was actually intended to have been a separate bullet point that actually addresses both defended and or undefended colonies that are still tied on economic phase distance and number of moves distance. That's... makes sense. That's what well, it's not really what I thought, but you could see it's maybe meant to have been that way, because it doesn't really make that much sense to have left that one like that and then had that one like that. And then he quotes the bit that's been missed out that he thinks should have been a third separate bullet to cover both of them. I think, isn't it? If this isn't the case, then where is the ruling about how to resolve several undefended colonies equal distance apart? Just looking for confirmation, really, because Sodzo, I have exactly that situation of 2 undefended colonies an equal distance from the AP's fleet. Yeah, you're going to get this all the time as well. So Nico replied to it by saying, I agree with your interpretation that, as written, the part you've highlighted in yellow only applies as a tiebreaker between defended colonies, which is what Tim pointed out. It's clear that that's what it says in the rules. He says, but I also agree that it could, and in my opinion, should apply to undefended colonies too. So that's kind of what I took on board. But he does say, but keep in mind, and then he's got in quotes here, because this is in the rule book somewhere, in general, where the solitary rules are silent, use common sense and play the aliens intelligently. So check if, e.g., you have a fleet that can only reach one or the other colony. So check if you have a fleet that can only reach one or the other colony. Yeah, as in, like, what's in the way and things like that. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's what he's meaning there. But, yeah, so no nothing official on it. But it sounds like, yeah, it would be nice to have had the official word on whether that should have been a separate bullet covering both bases. Undefended, defended. I think I'll just stick with it like that, and the way I've been playing it. So, I mean, the guys seem to agree with that as well. But I still get what you're saying, Tim. Maybe it has been some intent, but maybe there would have been more come of that, and someday. It's not always the designers are there, and when this game's an older game, quite an old game now, isn't it? So, designers tend to maybe answer questions at the beginning of their game and then drift off a bit. So, anyway, okay, but I'll just keep going the way I've been doing it, like that. And this other bit I've just realised is kind of like put a bit of a damper on things because, I'm saying I sort of wish this was more explained in the Alien Empire scenario. About making sure that you're keeping things hidden and whatever. But then that is part of the game when you play it multiplayer. But then the thing is, Alien Empire scenario, if you're just a solo player like me, you might have well been sort of confused a little bit by how this all plays out. So yeah. Anyway. I think keep trying to just delay the inevitable and get this moving because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Okay, well, we're on to turn 3. I mean, it's us to go first, but I mean, yeah. The only 2 movable ship. Oh no, we've got another battle cruiser on there. Oh yeah, that was the one we built just recently, wasn't it? Well, I mean, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What I could really do is a bunch of scouts, because remember we've actually got tactics level 1. Then 6. What was there? 8 of them. I mean, 8 scouts is 48. Is that 6 8 is 48? Is that right? I think so. 48 points. What did we get? What did we score last time? It just seems crazy, but you just seen what they done to my. What did we have? We had. I don't know. Did we have a couple of battleships, a couple of cruisers? Well, it'll be some of these ones that I've got circled here. They're all dead now, so I can see cruiser 3 there. But I've got circled a cruiser 1 and a cruiser 2, so I think we had 2 cruisers. There should be 3 battle cruisers and there's only 1. So we had 2 cruisers, 2 battle cruisers, and a battleship. All big ships, but just wiped out by all the little scouts. Okay. So, well, what's the plan, Grant? I've got to try and... When we're about to approach the next economic phase... well, where are these going to go first? Are they going to just go in here or here? I mean, now that they're as they are, it seems sort of, if you were doing this yourself, and you had 8 scouts, you would probably chuck 4 into there and 4 into there, wouldn't you? I guess it doesn't sound like they do that. So they're Fleet Moon, man. I think they're going to move it randomly between the 2, aren't they? But I'm just wondering, as they are, I mean, do they split up? It doesn't really talk about it that way, because I mean, generally they're... Once a non-raider alien fleet reaches a colony, it will stay there until the colony is destroyed. Well, we just had it was just out in open space that we had the combat, so... Right, okay, I don't know if I'm being stupid here or not, wondering about if these would split up or or not. It doesn't feel like it's a stupid thought. But there's nothing that I can find anywhere, so I might be missing something. But I mean, normally they go as a fleet of ships together and they just head for the one colony. So I'm going to assume that they stay together. Maybe I'm missing the obvious. So we're just going to do that. Okay, so, right, well, which one's it going to head for then, Grant? Well, it's not their turn yet, but I suppose, yeah, I'm just wondering, is it going to be random between the two then? Well, this brings about the whole breakdown in tiebreakers. They're both undefended, and it can reach both of them in the same economic phases, and it's the same amount of moves to reach both of them. So this is a case right away where I'm going to break into the defended colonies tiebreakers to say largest, and then a still tied towards the colony that brings it closer to the player's home world, because they're both fives, but you can see this one is bringing it closer to that. And I don't see in this situation why you wouldn't consider as that being a tiebreak, a positive tiebreaker for them, you know, because that's their ultimate goal, isn't it? So they're going to go in there. That's my take on it. We're going to stick by that for now. Like I say, it's one of the ones that you need to. When there's some people think it should be one way and some people think it should be there and they're not sure about it, you really need the designer to come along and clear it all up for you. You know, make it, even if he's sort of scratching his head wondering, you should he's the one that should make the clarification, the decision on it. So if that's going to be the target, 1, 2, 3. However, yeah, I mean they might not. Well, they might well destroy it though, because they've got eight rolls. They're going to be rolling a 3 or better. 3 or I'm going to say better, 3 or less to hit. Now, let's say I didn't get a shot yesterday, so I'm sort of forgetting what they've got. That's the wrong sheet. That's the wrong place to put that rule book. So, and that's getting in the way. I'm still looking at the wrong sheet. Okay, so the blue fleet, they do have attack 1 and defense 1. So they're going to roll 4s or less then. And they only need to hit like 3 times out of the 8. And not only that, I'm only going to, well, hang on, I can pipeline it to there, and then that pipeline's going to be destroyed, mind, as well. So, now hold on, the shipyards here though as well, aren't there? There's 3 shipyards, and if we do just want scouts, maybe 3 scouts, that could build 3 scouts. Chuck them in. Okay. Well, I suppose I'm better bringing this battlecruiser across. No, again, we're not going to be able to benefit from the pipeline. So if he goes there, well, he could go there on the second turn, but however, that's adjacent to that, whereas he could just go in there as adjacent. So, yeah, and then, of course, we were heading down here to chuck our Minesweeper in. I think I'm going to hold off on that for now. We've got miners out there. Okay, so, well, we might as well take care of that sort of side of things. They can't do anything anyway. That's a nice 10 in there, and we're going to grab this other 5. Well, that cruiser's going to explode down there, Grant, so probably better going in here then with a miner. And where's the other miner? He's away down here, but of course he was hoping to move on with at least, well, there was 2 cruisers in the battle, so he was hoping to gather up some stuff after that, but he's kind of left with nothing to do now until we can establish, you know, neutralise this and then maybe build another cruiser. I'll probably just build 1. We've still got that one over there, but it'd be nice to get 1, but I can't do that until we've dealt with this. So I suppose that minor might just sit there, because there's no... Well, there is a 5 up here, but I mean, he's close to it. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave this minor down here. So this cruiser, well, this is the important hex to try and do. So, so he's going to explore that. So let's do that first. And like I say, I think I'm just going to put things on hold regarding the Minesweeper situation. Right, so we're doing this one here, yeah? That's a Doomsday Machine. Right, that gets removed. Because we're not playing with that. Optional rule, so that gets removed. So we've got a coin run in, which is quite good, because this was a black hole. So, I'm not sure I want to move the sweeper in there either, because if they launch a fleet, it might well be that that's the first hex that they move into. I suppose it's always me to go first, though, isn't it? I think I'll just sit there now. Do we want to... I think I'm just going to leave both of them there, actually. For now. I really don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm not sure what I'm up to. Right, I think I will. I think I'll leave them both there. So the cruiser explored, but he didn't do anything else. The battle cruiser... Yeah, I feel the need to move it across, so I'm going to move it into here to come across. You know, for a moment there, I thought I wasn't recording, but I am. Right, and I think that's it. I think that's all we can do. Okay, so, and then red, on turn 3, they've got nothing. Blue on turn 3, we've decided this is a priority, so they're moving in here. So there's 8 of them. So they're each going to get... and this is getting destroyed, because there's not any friendly combat ships in there. If there was friendly combat ships, we would have a combat, and basically this would be... It wouldn't be involved in the combat. If we survived the combat, it'd be fine. My take is, if we got wiped out, it would just get destroyed. So sadly, we'll lose that pipeline. So they've got 8 die rolls with a... Well, we worked out... They've got an attack of 3, but they've got attack technology 1, so they've got attack of 4. They need 3 hits. But it doesn't matter, I can as well just rolling all the dice, because they're not going to be able to do anything else. That's all they can do. So, well, if we can roll some high dice, it'd be nice, because I'd rather turn 1 that they're just going to sit in that hex still. But we need to get lucky with this die roll. Well, die rolls, I mean. Right, so there's 8 of them. It was 8, wasn't it? 6 and 2. Yes. 8. 4s or less I'm looking for. It's like, I've seen these 2 first, and I thought that's a good start. Look at that, boom, boom. So that's 2 hits. And I've got 4 more dice to roll. So basically the colonies went 5, 3, 1. So it's just 1 more hit out of the 4 dice to destroy it. So 4s or less. There's another 3 hits. Okay, so they're still rolling quite low, but... Okay, so that... Oops, that was almost an accident. So that's that colony destroyed. It's this connection as well. This pipeline's taking out the connection. So that comes away. The planet stays as is. That's my understanding. That colony ship just gets destroyed, goes away. And that's them now ready to move on. So... So next, yeah, they're going to move in here next, aren't they? Now, so if we build... Well, here's the thing, Grant. Here's the one that's going to get you out of this. If I build 3 scouts in there, I would then be saying to myself, before realising another rule, and probably because haven't played the multiplayer game, that's not to my opponent. It's not 3 scouts. It's not three. It's not 3 of anything. It could be 4 or something. It could be 6 or something. It could be 1 or something. It could be. Now the one way I would know if there was 2 ships, in my opinion, if they were separate, if they were different types of ships, because I think then you would have to stack them like that. You know, if I made a cruiser and a scout group, and let's just say I had 3 scouts and 4 cruisers or something. Well, that's too much. But you know what I mean? I'd have to make 2 separate things. So then they would then look and say, this is defended because, I think anyway, because the shipyards don't count as defence. And, hang on, if it's 1 scout, yeah, because it says it's not revealed. It's going to show it as defended, isn't it? Because that was a change in the rule. That's why it didn't make any sense when it said having one was it unrevealed scout? How's it worded again? Having a shipyard and this was the original rules, and that's why they had to change it, because it doesn't really make sense. Where are we? Where is that? In this case, shipyards and a single revealed scout, so it doesn't need to be revealed. So having shipyards and a single scout are not considered a defence. But hold on though. So it doesn't have to be a revealed scout. So we've got to just, well, we're not saying to the other player, we're telling the AI that we've got a scout and a single scout and a shipyard, so this is not defended. So does that mean they're allowed to know if I've got more than 1 scout then? I mean, I suppose it has to, doesn't it? How's it worded in the new rules? Again? What is under fleet? What is under AP fleet movement? Is that not where I was looking? Yeah. Oh no, this is not highlighted in blue. That's the thing I would. Why am I not finding this? Where is it again? It's further down. It's a sort of 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th bullet down. But then that might not be the case in the new rules. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's not that. Because it's that the wording's changed in this. That's the thing. I'm struggling to find it. Oh, there we go. If more than one colony, no. If more than one colony qualifies, an AP fleet will move towards a colony that is undefended. When determining this, a colony with shipyards and a single scout is not considered to be defended. So, if I've got unrevealed scouts, yeah, and that's why the wording doesn't make sense. That's right. So if I've got unrevealed scouts, he doesn't know if he's treating that as well. I've got to reveal if it's just 1 scout, haven't I? That's the shipyard grant. Well, I was messing about with the counters. So if it's more than 1 scout, I would leave it face down, so that kind of lets him know. Is that right? And then he then knows that that's defended. I'm not sure if I'm getting the thinking of that right or not. Now, right, I'm getting confused here, I think. Because I'm just looking, right, if he's not going to attack here, is he going to look here now? And then I would have said this was defended. That's what I've been saying. This is defended. But this should be like this right now. Technically with a number underneath it. It'd be a number 1, but he doesn't know it's a number 1. But I think what the rules are saying is, if this is a scout, if it's just one scout, you've got to let the alien player know that that's one scout, I think. And if you don't acknowledge that, then that means that is defended. Is that right? I'm not sure. Well, it might be, but I was going to start saying here, surely somebody would have talked about this before in the previous videos, but because you're that far ahead, Grant, and there's only I've got part 7 out there now, I think it is, or is it just 5 and 6? No, I think I've got 6 and 7 now. Because I'm that far ahead, this might not have cropped up in any, thoughts on people watching. I might have been doing this wrong all the time. I determined that's a colony with shipyards and a single scout is not considered to be defended. And in brackets in the blue, it does have the AP has a spy network and knows this. Now, it says spy network. I don't know if that's something extra that's in the game that I've not came across, as in the one expansions, or if it's just meaning, I think it's just meaning they've got a spy network and they know. Yeah, because how would they be allowed to know? So you've got to reveal the fact if it's a single scout. So right now, I would have to say, if this was just a single scout, then he would treat this as undefended. If he doesn't know what this is, and I'm not admitting it's a single scout, then it's defended. Yeah, that's fair. And this is undefended at the moment because it's got shipyards. So right now, his target is still going to be here, but I'm just talking about building scouts there. So if I do that, well, to be honest, if I do that, well, will he not come and just destroy this? It's going back the way, but well, hold on, Grant. Just go in and attack there with your scouts, because you've got tactics 1. I can only build 3 of them, and that's it. It's going to be 3 against their 8. I'm getting to fire first, but okay. Yeah, there's a lot more to this game than I've realised, actually. Oh, and I spent a bit of time, was it yesterday at work? Yeah, looking at the rules I was talking, the bot stuff, the AI bot, or do they call it the AP bot, and the newer rules, and there's a lot in that. Like, it's a little bit confusing because I found it wasn't really set out greatly. I mean, that might just be me, to take care. It just sort of says you can play this with any kind of version of the game. I kind of left it all a bit open and whatever, and I've not seen any video footage of somebody trying it out there. So it's something I might like to try. But my understanding is I could use it for this scenario. Now, I want to say that you just play against one alien player, and basically they start up with their homeworld, and they do it slightly different. What they do is they get 5 phases in, and then they just reveal all their homeworld. They don't go about exploring their homeworld. Something like that. And we do ours just as we do. And then once they go out in the deep space, but they actually go out in the deep space and explore. And then, I mean, it looks just like you're playing another player. I think that, obviously that's what it's trying to achieve. But there was a lot more to it. Like, as you can imagine, the decisions it was having to look at, and you could have, what was it, exploration fleets, but you could also have extermination fleets. If they had that big amount of points, they would just try and go for your homeworld. It looked interesting. I'd like to read more into it, and I believe I can play it if I just, I mean, because I can download the rules, but I don't have any expansions. But I think I could play this scenario, well, the version of this scenario with it, just with the rules, I think. So that would be cool. So I will look more into that in the future, or even, you know, if I do get reading into it a bit more, try to understand it a bit more, because I feel like this game might be getting away from me a little bit now. All these things are creeping in a little bit as well. So, although I don't want to just come to a sudden end here, which is a bit of a shame, because we've 15 parts in, so I mean, 15 hours ish of work, you know. So, well, it's not work, but 15 hours of play. Okay, so is that all the moves? I think so, because we've had moves and we had some combat there, so let's reset everybody. Alright, so that's everybody reset. That was turn 3, so we're going back to another economic phase. That'll be round 11. That is only a D12, but that's all I've got here as well, so I'll just cycle back to, I'll put a 3 to say 13, but it's fine, as long as you're tracking on the paper, okay, so, well, things have happened, so let's see what we can do. Right, where's my pencil? Here. Right, that's the one. So okay, I think we've got quite a few minerals there though. Oh, it's just the ones on here, but I think there's 15 in here. There is indeed. Okay. Which will help because we've lost another 5, haven't we? In fact, no. We're going to have lost 7 because 5 from that, 1 from that pipeline, and 1 from this pipeline because it's now not connected. So we're losing out on 7. So just looking there, we've got 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, and then 53. So what is the normal is 60 for all 8 planets. We've not quite got this one done. That would go to 5, and then the 5 missing from that, yeah. So yeah, we're missing 7 out of the 60. Yeah, so 53. 53, right, okay, hang on. Right, so we'll only carried 1 forward as well, so, right, 53. And then the 15 minerals. Okay, and then rather than go back up there, let me put these minerals away. One goes in my home, and one goes in the other set aside. So rather than, well, I think we can, from there at a distance, we've still got, well, we don't count our home base, 1, 2, 3, connecting through to there for 4, and then this one's gone and it cuts off that one. So we're only getting 4 of the 6 that we were getting previously. So 4. So that is 53, 54, 69, 73. So actually the same points as we got the last time. And our maintenance is going to be a lot less now because we lost a lot of ships. So we've just got the cruiser here for 2. That sweeper counts as well for now 1. That's 3. Oh, I see we've got a shipyard here as well now. Okay, so 3. And we've got something else there. Yeah, this battle cruiser for an R2 because everyone else got wiped out. So it's only 5. Our maintenance is only 5. So, it means you've still got a lot of points to be able to do stuff with. So, 5 maintenance compared to the 15 that we had previously. So take that away, gives us 68. 10 points more than the last turn. So, okay, so 68 points. Ooh. If we build shipyards 2, we could build an extra scout. I don't know. That's not a terrible idea, actually. If we built shipyards 2, it means that all our shipyards... And remember, this is a technology, so... This is my understanding, anyway. I'm pretty sure I'm right with this, that... Right now, our shipyards give one... you can build 1 hull point a ship at a shipyard. If we upgrade that to 2, then every shipyard produces 1.5 hull points. So if you've got 2 shipyards there, right? If you've not upgraded this and you've got 2 shipyards, you could build 2 scouts. If I upgrade this, and then my shipyards each do 1.5 hull points, so I could build 3 scouts. So unfortunately, the one we're looking at has 3 shipyards, so we're going to get 4.5. If we'd done that, we get 4.5, but I can't get half a scout. So I would be able to build 4 scouts instead of 3. And we're getting to go first. I'm not sure, did I decide where they were going to go? If I do build the scouts in there, did they attack this? I think they do, don't they? They always go for the nearest colony. Right now, they're not thinking... If it comes to a tiebreaker, they'll look at the home world, but... Always move to the colony it can reach in the fewest number of economic phases will grant. So in actual fact... Well, this would be defended, so would this, going by my thinking of the rules. Has it got movement? Blue. No, it's red that has movement. So it could move 1, 2, 3. It can actually go towards my home world, or it could go 1, 2, 3, or it could go 1. So all these the only one that's not hold on, it can actually go 1, 2, 3. The only one that's not, sorry, there's 2 colonies that it can't target that are out of its range in this economic phase. This one and this one. So all the rest need to be broken down. So if there's more than one that qualifies, it wants undefended. This, if I put scouts there, would be defended. This will be undefended. This will be undefended. This will be undefended. So is this. So is this. This and this will be defended, because my base isn't got anything either. So then, if more than one are undefended, fewest number of moves, it's going to be this one then. That is the next tiebreaker, and that is definitely a tiebreaker to undefended colonies, without going any further than that. So yeah, that's going to be its target. So if I do just sit there, yeah, I'm going to have to go and attack them, am I? Well, I've already said that we know they're scouts. That's clear. Unfortunately, they've got 1 defence as well, haven't they? Yeah. But they don't have tactics, and we... Ooh, yeah, we do. And we're building new ships here, Grant. Yeah. And in fact, have we not got attack as well? We've got attack 2, which scouts won't benefit from. But we've got defence 1 as well. So we've got attack 1, defence 1 for the scouts. So that's okay. Right, I need to watch the time here. 52, and I had 12 minutes, I think. Unless I stopped this twice, it might be a bit more. No, I think it was only the once. I think I've got an hour and 4 minutes or so now. So, yeah, well, that was a bad time to continue on then, Grant, wasn't it? Well, I could just, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long part, isn't it? I can't just stop now, though. I should have stopped before I started this. So now this is probably going to end up an hour and a half video. Okay, never mind. So we've not got any other threats out there at the moment. That's not to say there might not be one after they roll some dice. They've both got, funnily enough, 52 points in their fleet. And red is rolling 4 dice, and blue is rolling 5 dice. And the fleet launch is on a 1 to 3. So take from that what you what you think. Yeah, annoyingly there's only one shipyard there as well. So if I upgrade shipyards, that only gives 1.5 points. But from my main base, so that's got 6. So that turns into 9 hull points with that upgrading shipyard. Which is maybe slightly overkill, but... And again, maybe not. If you're going to build scouts this turn as well, there's no real point trying to upgrade defence or anything like that. Maybe I should just go for the shipyards then. Upgrade shipyards, that's 20. I've got 68 points. Our scouts are 6. Well, you could build some other ships, Grant. It doesn't need to all be scouts. So 20 would leave 48. I'd be building 4 scouts there for 24. I'd have another 24 left. Then maybe I should just build scouts. What's the biggest ship I can build? Be battleships. They're 20, aren't they? But we've seen what happened with our battleships and our battle cruisers against a bunch of scouts. We got destroyed. I mean, scouts have 1 maintenance each, but when you bring in battleships bring in 3 maintenance just for having 1 of them. So it balances out there a little bit, doesn't it? Let me think. I think I'm gonna build shipyards because if I could have built a load more scouts that can attack them, then I maybe wouldn't do this and spend the points on this. But this gives me an extra scout to go in and attack them. I know it's only 1, but it's still not a terrible thing to take. So I'm going to take shipyards level 2 for 20 points. So shipyard 2, 20. And then we've got 48. So, I mean, I could have 8 scouts, couldn't I? Yeah, that's what they've got. 4 of them I could build. Well, you know what? I'm definitely going to build 4. Now, is there any benefit to building destroyers? In fact, the cruisers not have... No, they do have 2 hull points, right. Is there any benefit to me building destroyers instead? Because now I built the shipyards, this 3 becomes 4.5. So I can build 4.5. So I can build 4 hull points. I mean, scouts are the same hull as a destroyer. Destroyer had 1 extra attack. They're D class, but remember we're already beating them anyway because we've got the tactics. But as an extra die roll, because our scouts are going to be rolling on 4s or less, where the destroyers are going to be rolling on 5s or less. However, you got to remember, Grant, the destroyers are 9 points to build rather than 6. So, however, that is going to be better, isn't it? Because I could build 4 destroyers here, and so that's 9, 18, that's 36, leaving me 56, leaving me 12. Could build 2 more scouts. I mean, I can only build 1 there, which is kind of pointless because it's 3 away from this, and that our home base is 3 away as well anyway. In fact, what about coming through the pipelines? 1. No, it doesn't help. That's annoying that Nebula's in the way. Everything's... If that planet was in there, it'd be perfect, wouldn't it? For some of the things that I've been trying to do, because then I'd be able to move straight down into here. Anyway. So we would just go for that then. 4 destroyers and 2 scouts. And what's the purpose of building another 2 scouts? Well, I think the thinking is... Yeah, that's the thing, Grant. You could build 8 scouts. You're going to build... If you build destroyers, you're only getting to build 6 ships. And if you build scouts, you're going to build 8 of them. But there's still only going to be 4 involved here. But once the battle's over and once the dust settles, we would have 4 scouts. You know, they'd be on their way down. Well, if we go in there, whether it's destroyers or scouts, if we go in there on him and we fail to destroy him, I want to say he's then going to go in there, isn't he? Because that'll be undefended then. Which is bad. I mean, we've got 3 shipyards to try and defend that, but hopefully we might have taken some scouts out. Okay, I'm gonna be here all day if I don't make my mind up. So I'm gonna go with the destroyers then. So I'm gonna build 4 destroyers. You could build why not build a cruiser? You're talking about trying to get a cruiser going again. Cruisers are 12, aren't they? Where are we? Where's the cruiser? Yeah, 12. Hull size 2. That's fine. Yeah, I'm going to do that then. I'm going to do that. And if it all goes to pot, then so what? So DDs times 4. They're 9 each. So 36. On top of our 20, that's 56. And then a cruiser for 12. So that's 20, 56, 68. Yeah, so 0 left over. Yeah, let's just do that, Grant. Let's just do that. Right, 0 left over. We bought shipyards 2, so that gives us the ability to create the 4 destroyers here, even though there's 3 shipyards, right? So DD1 and a 4 marker, that's all we need. That's not a 4, Grant. There's a 4. So, and DD1, and I don't know if we've seen destroyers before or not. I think we did. We had them early on, didn't we? So they're getting built there, like I say, because the hull yeah, I've explained all that, right? And then, oh no, I can't build the cruiser there because the cruiser is 2 hull, yeah. So cruiser number 1 is going to be back at the home base as well. Right, just stick with that because you're going to faff about too much. Right, I do need to sort some stuff out on this sheet then, so hang on. Right, foolishly, I was trying to rub everything out there, and then I did have Battle Cruiser 3 still left. That's what we've got before we just bought stuff. It was Cruiser 3, not Battle Cruiser 3. He's the one, he's up beside the sweeper. Actually, where's the sweeper? He's still down here as well. He's still there. And I rubbed this out, but I'm pretty sure this is what it was at. It was 1 attack, 1 defense, even though we've upgraded. But I'm showing it as 0 tactics. I want to say that must be wrong. We bought a cruiser in the last economic phase. I mean, we're buying one this phase as well, but we bought one in the last phase along with a battle cruiser. And I want to say that the battle cruiser is still alive. That's Battle Cruiser 3. Well, if they were bought at the same time, Grant, should they not have the same? Unless, of course, that's 2, 1, 1, 2. That would mean he'd be the same as that. I get the feeling the cruiser was built and destroyed, though, that cruiser. And I think there's when we done the sweeper. It's alright. Oh, you know what? That must be that cruiser. It's the same time we bought that battle cruiser. And it's still there. Okay, I'm going to say it's got the same stats then. I'm not 100% sure of this. I feel like that's maybe where they were, but there's the battle cruiser showing a 2. I'm trying to see. It doesn't look like I had the 2 circled there. You know, when you rub it out, you can sometimes see the sort of outline. I have to feel like it's still the 1. That's a 1. I've got a 0 showing there. Right, that should be a 1. So I think they had the tactics. Why would they not have had the 2 attack though, Grant? I can see an outline under that 1 actually. And then that's a 2, so that matches up. Let's see if I can... Unless I've rubbed it out awful well. I can't understand why it would have came in with just the 1 attack. When did we build the second attack? Well, that'll show here, won't it? When did we build attack 2? Oh, technology's gone. Well, attack 2 was only built there. Oh, you know what I've done? No, that's when I built these. That's when I built these. So he must have attack 2. That was annoying. I was getting myself confused and I rubbed out the wrong. I rubbed out all these cruisers because I thought they were all dead. And of course, we'll just replace cruiser 1. We're just about to fill that out. That must have been 2 right enough then. Oh, you know what? If I've got it wrong, I've got it wrong. Right, so we brought in cruiser 1. He's up at the home base. So basically, he's coming in with attack 2, defense 1, tactics 1, move 2. Yeah, and exploration, of course. And that's cruiser 1. So attack 2, defense 1, tactics 1, move 2, exploration. Right, and then we brought in 4 DDs, DD1s, who are all, obviously they can't get attack 2, but they can get attack 1, defense 1, tactics 1, and move 2. Not got scanners. Scanners is a little bit. Not got that. Right, that's up to date. Because this is getting a long video now, Grant. And you've not rolled for the aliens. Well, hang on. We've got one. This goes down to here, and we upgrade that to a 5. Now, the other one would have grown, but it's destroyed, so that'll be that. Should I stop now or 12? I think it's not quite an hour and a half. I think I should be able to just get these die rolls in and maybe a fleet launch, but that's all that happens. Okay, so for red, this is 11, turn 11. So 4 rolls, and yeah, let's just have 4 rolls. Now 1 to 6 is fleet, 10 is defense, and then in between these tech. 1, that was a 2. 1, 2, 6, 3, that's all fleet, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 6 is all fleet. So 40 points in fleet. Oh goody. 92. 55 in tech. He's got still just 20 in defense. We'll launch on a 1 to 3. No. I'm not sure. I don't know. I never know if it's a good thing. Well, I was thinking about it recently. I think launching small fleets all the time, if you set yourself up well enough, launching small fleets all the time is probably good for you, and probably you could. That's what you would kind of want, I think. I mean, I'm not sure I would want it in this case. I feel like I've made a bit of a mess of things. Well, I don't know. Die rolls, eh? Right. Blue gets an extra 1 because it had an econ roll. Just the 1. So 5 dice for. So here's the first 4. Right, that's 2 9s, a 10, and a 3. Now hold on though. Right, he's got 1 more die to go, but he's not getting defense. So again, it brings me to this wondering. It wants to put 20 points in defense, but it maxes out in defense, and it says any excess goes over to fleet. So I'm going to carry 20 into fleet for that 10 roll. But should it be 10? I don't know. It feels like it should be 20, really. So 20 into fleet, and then another 10 into fleet. It's 30, and then we've got 2 tech rolls, 7 to 9s. I'm going to take a chance, because I need to re-roll a dice. Let me put the 2 tech on as 20, so 35. And we'll roll this 1 more dice, right? Because they had 5 rolls, right? Right, it's another fleet then. So I scored the 2 tech. I'll take that out of the way. I scored the 2 tech for 35, and we've got 2 rolls for fleet, and this defense is going to basically put another 20 into fleet, so 10, 20, 40 into fleet. It might be that it should only be 30. Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to give it the 40, but there we go. Right, that's that. And a launch check on a 1 to 3. He's got 92 points, so no again. That does mean we're going to get some nasty stuff when it happens. Right, okay, let's wrap this video up. I probably will come straight back. Yeah, battery seems to be better. I don't know. Yeah, that's strange. I've been recording for quite a while and it's went down a little bit. Don't know what's been going on there. Right, okay. I'll be back soon. Hang on. It's the quick. Push that on so we know where we're at. Okay, be back soon. Cheers.